If you're planning for an Alaska cruise, you're probably going to find that most Alaska cruise packing videos tell you to bring layers, waterproof shoes, and a rain jacket. And that is all true. But after multiple Alaska cruises, I've learned there is a huge difference between what people pack and what they actually use once they're on the cruise. So today I'm sharing the biggest Alaska packing mistakes, particularly for women over 40 like me, what I really wore on my most recent Alaska cruise, specific outfits, and exactly what you might want to pack based on your excursions and the time of year that you're cruising. Now, if you haven't seen it yet, we have a full Alaska packing video to get you started, as well as most of the items that you're going to see today are linked from Amazon or wherever I bought them, like Walmart. We also have a ton of other resources for you down in the description and pinned to the top of the comments that you're going to find super, super helpful. So we're going to cover day by day on a real actual cruise, what I wore in late May, what I reached for the most, some mistakes I made, and there were a few regrets as well, and of course, what I feel like I got right. Now let's get started with the luggage and suitcase situation, because I feel like this is a tricky part of any trip. My family of 3 packed 4 suitcases for this trip. We had 3 carry-on bags and 1 checked bag. And we packed for our carry-on the Nomad Lane Bento bag. We actually got their new backpack as well, and it is amazing, but it sold out right when it launched. So at the last minute, I ended up pivoting and taking this Bento bag, and it worked out amazing for my flight. But really today, I want to spend most of my time talking about the outfits that I wore on this cruise day by day. We're going to start before the cruise. We're going to start with our pre-cruise stay in Seattle the night before the cruise. This night, by the time our flight got in, it was a little bit chilly. So I kept it really simple and I wore jeans and my puffer jacket, which you're going to see a lot of this in this particular video. And I wore some comfy walking shoes. Now, comfortable walking shoes for you ladies, especially as we start to get older, as we're over 40, they are very critical to support our feet, to support our backs, our knees, and our body. So my first tip for you today is to focus on whether they're waterproof or not. Get yourself some very comfy walking shoes. The most worn in, comfy, ready to put on shoes you could possibly imagine is going to be the cornerstone of your comfort on an Alaska cruise. You don't need something super cute, fancy. You don't need a knee-length boot. You need comfy, comfy walking shoes. All right, so this light jacket was perfect for Seattle in May, but sometimes it can be chilly. We were more in a heat wave situation, and honestly, I wouldn't have changed a thing about that outfit that I wore in Seattle. Now, embarkation day was another story in Seattle. I actually chose to wear this pair of democracy jeans and a lightweight top that I picked up at Target on clearance in Seattle. It was so warm in Seattle that I actually bought this top thinking, I might be hot in some of the long sleeve things that I wore. So hot tip for you, pack some short sleeve tops, ladies. So I only wore this white puffer jacket during the actual boarding process, just so that I didn't have to put it in my bag. But then it really heated up on the ship, and outside it was bright and sunny. So I explored the ship all day in the top and jeans, along with some wedge sandals and a crossbody purse that's like my everyday crossbody purse that had my passport, my wallet, all of that stuff. Eventually, I moved all that stuff into the safe in my room. Now for dinner on night 1, I chose this casual, neutral dress and some wedge sandals. And as you're going to see throughout this video, I re-wore this dress and it is a total win. It does come in other prints, like some bold florals that I love, and it runs a little big. So if you grab it, make sure that you size down 1. Let's talk about our first sea day. I'll be honest with you guys, I was pretty seasick due to some high seas on our first day, so I kept it really casual. I don't even remember what I wore during the day that day, but that first sea day was our formal night, and I wore this beautiful dress that I've now worn a couple times on formal night. It was great for dinner at Crown Grill, and I also went to Spellbound, which is like a magic and speakeasy experience on Star Princess, and this outfit worked out absolutely amazing. I paired it with some gorgeous gold, they're basically like a wedge platform sandal and a bold gold necklace. And I felt like that first formal night on the cruise was more fancy than the second one that was to come later. So I'm glad I saved my more fancy dress for that night. And you're going to probably find on your cruise that that first formal night is more dressy as well. Now, the next day was our first port day in Ketchikan, and the excursion that we did was a crab feast and a wilderness exploration on a boat. We woke up that day, and again, it was beautifully sunny again. There were promises in the forecast that there was going to be no rain. So I took that risk, and again, once again, I did not opt for a raincoat. I wore that off-white puffer jacket. Once again, you guys, can you see the trend here? I was loving this puffer jacket when it wasn't raining. It's not actually waterproof, so I had to choose it carefully. I had to wear it on the sunny, brisk days. I wore it with jeans and a top that I picked up in Walmart that comes in lots of beautiful colors. And I wore my most comfy sneakers and a warm scarf for those moments when the wind picked up a little bit when we were touring around. On days when there's no rain, this is like the perfect cruise outfit, you guys. Now, I wanted to mention that I actually wore my waterproof Skechers sneakers that I bought before this particular cruise because I knew I was going to be going on a boat. And if you're going to be going on a boat excursion, you might consider waterproof sneakers as well. Turns out I didn't really need them because there was no water anywhere. It wasn't raining. They were, we walked right off the dock and onto the boat. So it was a non-issue. But I'm still glad that I had my waterproof sneakers for days to come where it did rain. That night after our excursion, I wore a new dress that I got from Target. It's not very Alaska, it's like bold florals, but it worked. It had a little bit of a sleeve. It kept me warm enough, and I really love the waist definition on this one. Now, our next day was a weird one. It was a combination of Glacier Day in the morning, like from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., and then we had a large chunk of time where we were cruising to Juneau. Then we spent the afternoon and the nighttime in Juneau. Now on this day, my Glacier Day and my Juneau Day, because of the weather and because we were in the glacial passage, I ended up wearing my warmest coat that I packed. Now, do you need a coat like this? We're going to save the verdict for that until the end of this video and talk a little bit about it, but I was really glad that I had the extra insulation. In cruises past, a lot of times what I've done is just piled a fleece layer underneath a raincoat for my Glacier Day. But I found that I don't like to look so bulky. And so I really wanted to have just a nice insulated warm jacket. And it was fantastic. It was pretty wet and chilly in the glacial passage. And I even needed to wear like a beanie that day. Unfortunately, this is where my first mistake comes in, you guys. I forgot my beanie at home. So I ended up getting one from Princess and wore that, but you really do need something to keep your head warm on that glacial day. I did wear these boots that I'm showing in the photo here on the Glacier Day, and I'm going to tell you they were a total waste of suitcase space. They are not a rain boot. They're just a cute kind of a vanity boot. I don't even know why I packed them, but I would recommend leaving stuff like this at home and just sticking with your cute shoes for dinners and like sneakers and things like that. On the Glacier Day, I also wore a swimsuit because we spent some time in the heated pools and the hot tub, and I highly recommend that you do that. It is very likely that you'll want to go for a dip or a soak while you're in Alaska. That same day, again, I mentioned we were in Juneau. Now, this was a nighttime visit to Juneau. Our excursion, helicopter excursion to a glacier got completely canceled, and honestly, it was freezing and wet outside. So I wore this same coat exploring Juneau that evening, and I'm so glad that I did. Back on the ship, we had a fancy dinner planned. Tonight, we were going to Love by Bento on Star Princess. And so I re-wore that neutral Amazon dress from day one that I showed you. It was so cozy and relaxed. And after a busy day ashore, I just wanted to put on something that was kind of flowy and didn't hug any of my curves or anything like that. The next day was our port day in Skagway where we were going ziplining. On this day, I wore joggers for comfort. Usually I'd wear jeans ziplining, but I felt like I wanted a little more flexibility and these joggers worked out great. I wore a raincoat with a red hoodie that I got underneath it. The red hoodie I don't have a link for, but it is from Old Navy. And I actually wore my white sneakers from Skechers this day because again, I could see in the forecast that it was not going to rain and I just love these shoes. They are so supportive and so comfortable. Now, I do recommend, ladies, that you take a scarf with you when you're going ashore in any port. You, especially when you're in Skagway, might need it for that return walk and the wait for the shuttles there. It gets really cold and quite breezy in the afternoon, so pack a scarf. That night, I wore a navy dress that I picked up at Walmart just before the cruise with these big bold flowers on it. And I absolutely love this dress with the purse and wedge sandals that I wore it with. But here is the mistake that I made this night. What I didn't know is that this was the day on the cruise that was going to be the white night where everybody wore white. Well, the problem was I had only packed one white item, and it was this beautiful cable knit sweater, but I intended to wear this on like a casual-ish night with jeans as my white night outfit. But I learned that we had a reservation for dinner at Frescobaldi, the Sabatini's wine pairing menu, and I knew everybody was going to be a little dressier. So I ended up missing the white night completely while everybody else looked cute in their white gear. So ladies, you might want to look for something that you could wear that's a little dressier for dinner that's white. I saw ladies wearing white dresses that had like a floral pattern. There were some sweaters. There were some cream-colored blazers with like lace tops underneath that were gorgeous. All kinds of different things, but for me, I wasn't comfortable wearing a sweater and jeans to dinner, so I missed out. Our last sea day was a formal night, and this is where I got to wear this beautiful burgundy dress that I got on Amazon. I did end up wearing this with my wedge sandals instead of the gold formal shoes I intended to wear it with, but the reason I did that is because I was realizing that as the cruise progressed, as they do in Alaska, people were starting to dress a lot more casually each night. In fact, at this formal night, there were tons of people in jeans and sweaters, not dressed up at all. So I just did not want to wear my formal shoes. And in fact, in hindsight, I regret packing my formal shoes because I only wore them one night and they took up a lot of space. So something for you to think about. You may be able to reduce the number of shoes that you pack and just go with a moderately dressy shoe instead of a gold formal shoe like I did. The next day was our sea day before going ashore in Victoria. So you had like a long, drawn out kind of sea day and then a night in Victoria. So we got to visit the Sanctuary Club, which is like it's almost like a ship within a ship concept on Star Princess, but kind of more like a private pool and hot tub and outdoor beautiful area with views. So I wore a few different outfits throughout the day visiting here. I started off with this Amazon beautiful fleur-de-lis sweater that comes in lots of pretty colors. It also comes in a floral with some jeans, and that actually worked out terrific. I wore it with some wedge sandals while my son and I played darts and did things like that. Then I ended up in a swimsuit that I picked up at Nordstrom Rack. I think this swimsuit that you're seeing here is La Blanca brand. If I can find it, I'll link it below, but I really don't have faith that I'll be able to because I got it at Nordstrom Rack, and usually by the time something makes it there, it's on its way out. That night for our sightseeing in Victoria, I actually wore this Amazon floral top that I'm wearing right now. This top was inspired by my friend Lori, who you may know from Instagram and YouTube, Travel Tips by Lori. She had this top on. I had to buy it, and I love it so much that I actually bought it in another color. Now, if you know Lori, and if you follow her amazing travel tips, flight tips, she's a pilot's wife, drop me a comment and let me know that you know her too. I think she is just the coolest, and I love watching her videos. But yes, thank you, Lori, for this great one. I wore this to Butchart Gardens. I did put this jacket right on over the top of it, but unfortunately the sleeves were kind of puffy to wear with a jacket over top. So in hindsight, I would have probably worn something without like a structured sleeve, maybe like a long sleeve. Now, here's where I did make a mistake in Victoria that I want you to avoid. Remember how I told you when I was in Skagway, when we were coming back to the ship kind of later in the day, it got kind of cold and breezy? Well, in Victoria, when you're coming back to the ship at 11:30 p.m., because most of our cruise ships have late calls there, you guys, that wind kicks up. It is freezing in Victoria. The walk from your bus to that cruise ship is going to feel very cold. Please pack a scarf, a beanie, something very, very warm. Okay, so those were all the days of the cruise. Let's recap everything we talked about, starting with outerwear, because the outerwear really surprised me. You guys noticed I took 3 jackets. I believe that 3 jackets is pretty much overkill, but I took all of them because I knew I was going to make this video and I wanted to compare them for you guys. My normal strategy is not to pack something like this jacket. Normally, I pack a rain layer and a puffer. And if I need to layer something really warm under one of those jackets, I stack a fleece, a hoodie, gloves, scarves, and hats, and that's what keeps me really warm. I still, after probably 15 cruises to Alaska, don't know the perfect jacket. But if I could design it, it would be something waterproof like this with a hood. So if anybody comes across the perfect puffer jacket that's actually waterproof, because that's where it gets a little bit tricky, that has a hood that's not made for sub-zero weather, because you're in Alaska in summer. You're not in Antarctica. You don't need that kind of a jacket, right? But if anybody comes across one, please let me know down in the comments. But that's kind of my verdict on outerwear. Accessories, shoes, other miscellaneous stuff. I did also pack pajamas and slippers, and I do recommend you take something like that. Scarves, I packed 2 scarves and wore one, this multicolored brown and white one I wore quite a bit. As I mentioned earlier, I forgot my beanie. Please do not make that mistake. Take yourself a very warm and cozy one so you don't have to buy one there. And when it comes to shoes, you probably need to narrow it down and pack fewer than you need, focusing on a comfortable pair of sneakers, a waterproof pair of sneakers, if you would like. I mean, ideally, that would be the case, so water doesn't get into your shoes. Some moderately dressy ones for evenings, and a pair of flip-flops to wear to the pool. Don't forget to do the pool shoes, because you don't want to have to take sneakers off if you're going for a dip. Swimwear, I packed 2 swimsuits, and I wore them both. Normally, you only need one, but if you think you're going to be in the jacuzzi a lot, you might want to take 2. As for layers, I would say I did pretty well by packing about 3 pairs of jeans, 5 or 6 different t-shirts. All of that was great, but one mistake, I would avoid light colored solid t-shirts like white, cream, pastels, because if you get a little stain on them, you're going to feel like, oh man, I ruined my shirt for the day, and that's probably not a good thing. If you watch my pack with me video, you'll know I actually packed, not kidding, 14 pairs of underwear and 14 pairs of socks in case I didn't get to do laundry, and that served me very, very well. I want to thank you guys so very much for watching this video. I can't wait to hear all of your Alaska packing strategies and questions down below. Be sure to check out our Alaska packing do's and don'ts article. Be sure to check out our best time to cruise to Alaska video that talks about weather and what to expect during different months. We have our Amazon Alaska essentials, and everything is in the description and pinned to the top of this video. Thanks for watching. Happy packing, and until next time, I'll see you on the high seas. Bye-bye.